You have to ask yourself one question. Do you want to hear me talk about Dirty Harry? Well, do ya, punk? I realise I'm not intimidating in the slightest, unlike Harry Callahan.
You've got to ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Hey movie geeks, it's Jim and welcome back to my channel, and we're going to be talking about 1971's classic crime movie, Dirty Harry, directed by Don Siegel and starring Clint Eastwood, of course. And this movie basically tells the story of the renegade cop Harry Callahan, known as Dirty Harry in the police squad, who basically does it his own way because he doesn't really agree with the way the system operates. He goes a bit too far sometimes, and he's a bit too violent, and he's this and he's that. Sound familiar? Yeah, because this was the beginning of the renegade cop movie. The cop who does his own thing, the kind of cop action hero. And there is a real, even though it's back here, even though it's 1971, there is a freshness to the movie. There is a striking feeling to the movie. Don Siegel really makes you sit up and take notice, even watching it today. The first time that Harry Callahan steps on screen, the charisma of Clint Eastwood and just that hard-nosed grittiness, that intensity, that just, the way that he's just ice cold and focused and he knows what he's going to do. He was just a character like we'd never seen before, and now we just see characters like him all the time. We saw so many since then. But funnily enough, Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry is still one of the absolute best. This movie takes place in San Francisco, and Dirty Harry is chasing a dangerous killer named the Scorpio Killer, played by Andy Robinson. So this killer was based on the Zodiac, but it was a very short amount of time since the Zodiac's heyday of actually being, he's never been caught, which is terrifying. But, they were making a film about it, and his character's called Scorpio, played by Andy Robinson, and he is bloody terrifying. He is creepy as hell. But just the idea that back here, they were making a film about the Zodiac, who was still at large. Come on, guys. Don't do that. Come on, mate. At least wait until years and years and years have passed, then make that fantastic film, Zodiac, played by David Fincher. But don't make it back here when he was still at large. I'd be shitting myself. That's what the difference is between Hollywood then and Hollywood today. 70s Hollywood had no limits on it. You could do whatever the hell you wanted. Zodiac's still at large. Should make a film about it? Yeah, why not? It's a film about the failure of the system. The failure of the police system in getting things done. Corruption at the core of the police system. It's a film about the desperation of a society when their needs are not being met. Urban violent crime was up at this time, and it was a reaction to that. Making this film actually based on a novel. And, it's about that kind of walking that fine line that Harry has to do, where he wants to uphold the law, but he also doesn't even believe in the law, really. He wants to administer justice his own way, but at the same time he wants to be a good person. He wants to punish. Nothing around him in this film is allowing him to do what he believes is the right thing, which is pretty much just punish and maim the Scorpio Killer, get him in his own way. But he has to work in these parameters of this crazy, police system that doesn't really help him put the Scorpio behind bars. Very weird in this, he has many conversations with his police chief who are just trying to stop him doing things his own way. They'd rather the Scorpio Killer be at large than him being caught in Dirty Harry's way, and that's really strange in this. It's about contrasting worldviews. It's about institutions. It's about the police institution. It's about justice. It's about evil. It's about free will. Many times in this, the rights of the Scorpio Killer are brought up. It's about whether the Scorpio Killer has rights, whether killers have rights like that. And it's all about that. It's all about this real fury that was going on at the time, between the police and the general public. The trust had been shattered.
Yeah, well, when an adult male is chasing a female with intent to commit rape, I shoot the bastard. That's my policy.
Intent? How did you establish that?
Well, a naked man is chasing a woman through an alley with a butcher knife and a heart on. I figure he isn't out collecting for the Red Cross.
Remember when I saw this first when I was young, he really disturbed me, you know, and the whole idea of him being based on the Zodiac is disturbing also. I think the most scene that stands out for me is when he hijacks the school bus, which is something the Zodiac... It's taken from real life. I can't believe they did this back here, guys. The Zodiac promised to do it. He never did it. Well, I think he threatened to do it. And in this, the Scorpio does it. And that scene is one of the most disturbing scenes in all of cinema. Because he starts singing to the kids. And it's like this weird, odd, you know, singing this innocent kids song. And he's just this off his head. And he's singing it aggressively, forcing the kids to sing it. It really makes me uncomfortable, and it's what is going on? What in the hell is going on? And, you know, 70s cinema pushed the boundaries. The score in this by Lalo Schifrin stands out from the rest of the series, and it's a really kind of bizarre score. It really is. There's a sense of coolness to it, charisma to it, but it's also disturbing and has this subtle oddness to it. I think the score also perfectly sets out that this is a 70s movie. You won't get this sort of crazy, zany, psychedelic jazz music in any other decade. Bloody weird it is. I can't believe that anyone was ever considered other than Clint Eastwood. I mean, I know Clint Eastwood was still kind of making his name at this time, but, you know, other names were in the mix. John Wayne, for example, was in the mix to play Dirty Harry. Paul Newman, Frank Sinatra were all in the mix. Lots of actors were considered. Steve McQueen. When you see Clint Eastwood in this, he really was born to play this, kind of the same way he was, you know, born to do the spaghetti westerns. But he just has that conviction, he just has that gritted teeth vibe of Harry down perfectly, and he just has those comebacks to everyone who questions his way of life. Great stare on him, you know, and just a great delivery of the performance. I think this is the most uncompromising Dirty Harry movie by far. You know, and through watching the sequels over the years, I've always thought, because I love Magnum Force, I love the second one, which I may have to review. I absolutely love it. But, you know, you go back to this one, there's something special about this. There's a real hard grittiness and darkness and oddness to the film, very much created through the killer plot line. There's an uncomfortable feeling to Dirty Harry. You know, it really doesn't pull any punches. Kind of like if you took... You know, you take Dirty Harry and you put him into pretty much an odd psychological horror film. This is what you're doing here with Dirty Harry. It is a bit horrific at times. I really, really love Dirty Harry, guys. It is an absolute cinema masterpiece. Moment after moment of Clint Eastwood's performance, memorable scenes, just brave cinema, unpredictable cinema. One of the most iconic films of the 70s. It made a huge impact, obviously. We're still being influenced by Dirty Harry. Let me know what you think of Dirty Harry, and if you haven't seen it, it is essential. If one film from the 70s is essential, it's Dirty Harry. Please consider subscribing if you're a movie geek just like me and love to talk about movies and geek out over them, and I will see you guys in the next video.